Hi and welcome to 360 Art Drops with the Z. And thank you all for being here and energetically and um being here for our channel. And today we have with us Uncle.Catfish, and he is hello. He is in Spain right
Hi.
now, and he's gonna share with us his journey in art and music.
Yeah, well, I don't know where you want to start exactly, but I've been playing all kinds of instruments since I was pretty little. And my current project right now is more of kind of a mix of hip hop and electronic music. It's an all instrumental project. Uh, and I'm starting to include more traditional art too, because I'm having to do a lot of my own marketing and a lot of my own album art and things like that. So uh, I've learned to do a lot of things over the years,
Yeah, it's
learning
really
to play
funky.
instruments,
Some of
learning how
that
to
music.
produce on my computer.
I was listening to some of it. It's really funky.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm going for. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I really loved it. And I like the theme and all too. I didn't really know what a catfish was until I saw your page. So I was like, what is this catfish business? It has like a beard on it, the fish.
Yeah, it's a long story. Now, because of like MTV and things like that, I think people associate the word catfish with like some creep on the internet, but that's been my
Oh, really?
nickname since yeah, I think a catfish is someone who like tries to like trick people into like giving them money or something like that. That wasn't my
Oh
intention at
yeah,
all.
I think there is something like that. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't think of it like
Yeah,
that at first until you brought it up.
good.
But I mean, it's kind of sad that they turned your term into like some sort of hokey pokey on the internet.
Yeah, it's a sweet, beautiful animal. No, catfish has been my nickname since I was a kid, so I'm not gonna change it now.
Yeah, and you should have to.
But yeah, a lot of people are kind of yeah, just a lot of people are kind of like reluctant to talk to me because they think I'm like a troll or something. Because
Oh
it's
my
basically like
gosh.
my name's like Uncle Troll.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
That's
it's all right though.
awful. So like what are all the instruments that you were playing when you were younger?
The very first instrument I started off playing was the saxophone, but I clearly learned that one was not for me. I learned how
Oh,
to play guitar and bass and drums. Um, my main instruments, if I have one, I would probably say is the bass, but
yeah, I wanted
I
to learn
learned to play a
bass.
little. Yeah, bass is awesome. I think it's not that it's easier or anything necessarily, but I don't know. You're not having to worry about all these the hard hand positions
Right.
and stuff like that. It's I think you could just kind of feel the music a little more. I really enjoy playing the bass, but I learned enough about a how do I put this? I learned a little about a lot of instruments. Like even I took two lessons from a guy in Austin, Texas, to learn to play the sitar, for
Oh, nice.
example. I would not say like I play the sitar, like I
All
can play
right.
this traditional raga or anything like that, but I can make it make some nice noises, but I would say bass is the and scratching records like vinyl record is probably the two things
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. I
I'm
saw your
most
video.
known
I was like,
for.
wow, he's actually pretty good. And I can't believe like I didn't hear of him before. And so does all your artwork, is it connected with your music, or were you making art, separately than your music? It seems all connected.
Yeah, again, just since I was little, I've always been, I don't know, trying to avoid doing anything that wasn't artistic. So I've always been doodling or trying to learn an instrument or trying to, I don't know, be involved in art in some way. And I don't know. I enjoy the process. I enjoy doing all my own artwork. Also, it helps save a lot of money keeping this all in house.
Yeah.
So, is it all is it all connected? Uh,
I mean,
Actually,
were
if I'm
you
being honest,
doing
I kind of
different
forgot
types of art
where
before
question
the
started.
catfish?
Got it, got it. I was actually, yeah. The project that I have right now, this Uncle.Catfish project, is kind of new, I guess. I've done music under my own my government name. I've done music in different bands and stuff. So this is kind of a new project for me. And I was having kind of a dilemma deciding if I wanted to like paint under a different name than the music I'm making. Is my electronic music project different than my more organic music? And I've just decided to do it all under the same name. It's very stressful, in my opinion, trying to juggle all these identities and stuff, and
Yeah,
it starts to feel less fun. So yeah.
completely relate to this because just about a year ago I was like, my name's RJ, is my art name. And I see a lot of people
Uh-huh.
that do everything under the same name, and I think that's the best way to do it. But I was like, oh well, I want to be, Sophie, for my podcast and my
Mhm.
like I've been trying to do some vocals and send the vocals out to people, and I got Liquid LYKWID. He did us produced my poem into a song, and it was in the Wood
Oh
Fam
wow.
compilation last year. And I was like, wow, I can't believe it. And I just couldn't believe it. I just didn't think like I was any good or anything about vocals, making my own. Like I have a degree in Indian classical singing when I was 16 years old, but I just never, thought like I want to do like my own like music and stuff like that, like my own vocals. And I just never thought I was any good. And I just, was frustrated because I was like, I need to come up with, I want to do this under a different name. And I think, like for a lot of people, they do it under the same name for everything, and it just fits better because everyone knows you're under the same name. They get confused. They're like, "Why are you trying to pass under a different name?" I got somebody told me that recently, and I was like, "Wow, so much hatred!" Like
Yeah, I think you know deep down what feels best for your goals and your journey, I suppose. There's a producer and a DJ that I look up to quite a bit named that goes under the name Tipper.
oh, I love to.
And all right, awesome. Yeah, cool. I didn't know if you knew who that was.
No, I've
Um,
been
I
been
love
listening
Tipper.
to for like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah, he's still making music and he's just as good as ever. The reason I brought this up, I guess, is like he makes so many wildly different kinds of music. I guess all electronic, but um, you don't often know what to expect when you go to one of his shows. But I like that. How do I put this? I like kind the element of surprise, I guess, or maybe he'll even announce like, oh, this set is going to be more up tempo, this one's going to be more down tempo, this one's going to be more relaxing, instead of having to like go under a completely different moniker because he wants to play slow music today.
Yeah. Like, does he do a lot of art
But
also?
that's how I see it. Well, I guess the reason I'm bringing this up more is like some people feel the need like, okay, if I'm going to do traditional oil paintings, I need to do it under this name or this moniker or this identity, and I don't want to intertwine or confuse that with my musical identity. I find that very confusing and frustrating. It works for some people. Some people like the rebranding. It takes a lot of the fun out of it for me. So I don't know how much of like his own artwork like Tipper does or anything. I guess I just brought him up because he's one of the people that inspired me to kind of like not like change my identity or change my name just
Right.
necessarily because I want to experiment with a different art style for a little bit.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I did change my name, and To those out there who were confused about it, like my artist name is RJ's, and I don't feel like it's a bad thing. I just, I
No,
really felt like inside, like I wanted to be like I went through domestic violence 5 years ago. And I just kind of wanted something new, like something I wanted to feel something refreshing, but at the same time, I almost kind of wish I just wanted in the same name because it took me so long to find the 5,000 people that were like looking at my art and stuff. And I think people do still follow me, but also it kind of gives you that like
sure.
mysterious kind of thing. So, oh, okay. So let me stop talking about myself. Do
No,
you,
no, I like this. I like it's not just an interview. And one, I'm sorry to hear that that happened to you, and I think you deserve to feel happy. So whatever, if a name change, if a new identity or any of this is making you feel fresh and happy, then go for it. Don't worry too much about, I don't
yeah,
know, like, oh
I
well, what
figure
do
you just
people?
gotta keep going. That's like the main point. It's like whatever we're doing as an artist or musician, whatever moniker you use or whatever you choose to do in life, that to keep going is like the main point.
Sure. If Dr. Seuss changed his name to Mr. Seuss, I don't think people were going to like, I'm done with these books. I'm t I don't
Yeah.
really think it's the name so much, but having a cool name that fits your, I don't know, fits whatever you're going for and it makes you happy, works for some people just use the name that they were given at the hospital. I like to keep my professional life kind of separated
Yeah,
from
and I don't
my
want
my
everyone to know like, okay, that's my name. It's just it would be a little
saying.
like too into my life. So,
Yeah, same. I don't hide it. If anyone knows who my name, I'm not gonna deny my identity or anything. I just I also like I'm a teacher, and
right.
so I don't know. There's also some stereotypes and stuff about like, oh, this guy makes electronic music or something. Like maybe, yeah, I don't want
What,
people thinking like, oh, I don't want him to teach my children or something.
what do you teach?
I teach English and Spanish.
Nice. Where are you in Spain, by the way?
I'm in Granada in Andalusia in the south. Pretty close to Morocco, actually.
Okay, because I went to when I was 19, I lived in Burgos, which is not I think north for a bit. And then I've been to
Hmm.
Madrid and San Sebastian, which is one of my favorite cities in the whole wide world. And
Yeah, totally different part of Spain from where I'm at, but
oh, okay. All right.
yeah.
So like how do you feel your styles like evolved over the years? Um,
How do you think
you
my
know,
my what has evolved? Evolved, I'm sorry.
your style in art and music, like
Ah, a lot actually. This going under Uncle.Catfish is kind of new for me. I've always had the word catfish has always been kind of somewhere involved in my name. I just called myself Catfish for a while, but that was whenever you search for that, it was hard. I wanted a name that whenever you searched for it, my name popped up instead of
yeah.
like having to go through like 5 pages of fish and also like MTV episodes or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So how's my style changed over the years? It's changed quite a bit. Whenever I was younger, I was trying really hard to start a like a reggae band. I wanted to play bass in
Oh,
a yeah. Do you know like dub reggae? It's kind of more like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
a little slower, more
Kind of
psychedelic.
like
I
dubstep, but
wanted
it's
to
like dub reggae. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and I wanted to be in like a live band. I was trying so hard in college, in high school to push something kind of like that. I was really interested in a lot of more, I guess, organic, maybe organic music's not like non-electronic music. I was really inspired by bands like Incubus and Primus and things like that. So like, I really want to play the guitar. I really want to play the bass. And then I realized that I don't have the attention span to like get really, really good at one instrument. So I'd learned the guitar for a little bit. I'm like, oh, I can know a few chords now. I'm gonna see what the bass is about. And then I was like, okay, this is fun. I'm gonna take a couple sitar lessons. Like, oh, this is cool. I want to learn how to play the didgeridoo. So I never really got like excellent at any instrument, but I got good enough to where, oh, I don't need a band. I can just record all this into my computer
Right.
and put my name on it and not have to worry about, I don't know, my guitarist not showing up hungover all the time or whatever.
Did you do any like collabs? Are you into collabs or not really?
I'm definitely up to the idea for collaborating. It's just it hasn't really worked out, especially because most of my musician buddies are in the United States.
Yeah, I have the
And
same problem. Like all of my friends that I left behind are in the US.
yeah, so I have a decent friend group here in Spain, and there's actually a nice like music collective here that's been kind of taking me under their wing and giving me some nice opportunities to DJ and stuff. But I don't know, nothing has come up. Short answer, no, I haven't had any collabs. I'm up to the idea, but it's a little hard to do it remotely if you're not using the same software
Right.
and bouncing ideas back and forth. At the beginning stage for me is a lot easier to do in person. So I'm up to the idea when it happens.
How do you keep a balance between, art, music, and the rest of your life? You're teaching right now, so that's giving you like a little balance, so that you can
Mhm.
keep yourself afloat. What else have you done in your life to keep yourself afloat? Have you ever taken the time just to do art and music and kind of just passed on like anything else that would, just keep, have you kept yourself alive just on your art and music talents?
Good question. Not 100% off of my own arts. Like right now is probably the least amount of hours I've had in a long time as far as like my regular job goes. So my it's pretty neck and neck right now, but it's not fully I'm not fully supporting myself with my art, but I had gotten to a point where like, oh, people are paying me to do gigs and stuff. People are paying me to help them with some production tips. And I don't know, anything that's involved with art and not have to have a regular office job, I'm in. So right now I'm painting a bunch of pots and selling cactus to
Oh,
this
nice.
coffee shop near my house. Just really, I hate to say it, but really anything to keep from having a normal job, I'm in. So uh, at the moment, not that I don't enjoy teaching, it's just I think if I could, I would probably shy away from teaching English and Spanish in the future, and I'd like to teach art. I'd like to teach music. It's I like teaching, but I like art, and
Yeah.
I don't like to keep them so separated.
Yeah. So what like advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out in any kind of arts and music type of thing?
If possible, my biggest advice is try to find some kind of schedule that works for you that doesn't stress you out because I'm still trying to find that balance.
Right.
Um, I'm watching a lot of friends of mine who started producing music after me who are insanely successful right now because they put in a lot of hard work while I'm worrying about the minutia.
Right.
Um, so that's my biggest advice is try not to worry about small things and think of the big picture. Think about what you want for for your art because if you're just wanting to play like local gigs, then you don't need to have the most craziest software and the $10,000 guitar. If you're just doing this for yourself, if you're trying to sell out arenas, be patient with yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a combination of knowing the right people and having talents. And I don't know, I guess my biggest advice is slow down because personally very guilty of like, why isn't success coming fast enough? I've been working at this for 20 minutes now.
Yeah. What would you say your biggest challenge was when you first started, and what's your biggest challenge now? Is it more like time management or burnout or
Yeah, sure. My biggest challenges in the beginning was I wanted to be a rock star, but I didn't even know which way the guitar was supposed to go, you know? So it's like now I got to start from the scratch. Now my problem is I got to learn how to be patient with myself and not, like you said, not get burnt out because I feel like I almost had more fun when I knew less, if that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah, like
Like
when you're
when I
first
knew,
starting, it's like more fun because you're just doing it to do it. And now it's
oh yeah,
like am I comparing my talents with other people, or comparing needs to
sure.
go out the window and
Yeah, I don't know where when it happened exactly, but not too long ago, I feel like I was just playing music in my bedroom for me and me alone. Could care less really if I got on stage. And then now I'm worried because I got second in a DJ competition. I'm like, whoa, what happened here? And have to kind of reel it back a little bit. Like this isn't why you started doing this. You did this because you like music, not so you can uh
do it for
boast
other
about yeah, the
yeah.
festivals you played at and stuff. That's not really the point of this bonus if you get to have fun with it and share it with strangers too. But yeah, that's where I would say the biggest difference between where I was in the beginning and now is I have a lot of burnout right now because I worry about small things I didn't worry about in the beginning, and I have to learn to be more patient with myself.
Okay, what's your most memorable experience like creating, or what's your most um memorable experience of um, that you've already created of art and music? What's your favorite piece? Yeah.
Could you repeat the question? I don't know if I
So,
quite understood.
one part is what's your favorite experience that of creating like live or something? And what's your
Mhm.
favorite um piece of art or music that you have created over all this time?
Okay. Probably like my most memorable experience was the first time I ever went on stage by myself because whenever I was with a band, you could kind of hide in the back a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But before I was producing and DJing, I was doing a lot of like live looping with instruments, which is fun, but it's a lot of work and you have to have a car full of instruments. And but that was a really nice experience for me being on stage by myself, being fully in control, not having to worry if the drummer's on time because the drummer wasn't on time. It was my fault. I was
Uh-huh.
doing everything. That was a very exciting for me. And it also felt like it was the first gig I got from like talent and not just from networking. So that was a nice experience of mine. And this was quite a while ago in Houston, Texas. And as far as
Okay.
like my favorite piece or like favorite like thing that I've created is actually probably what I'm working on right now that's unreleased. I have a 5 track, I guess you'd call it an EP, like a 5 track project that
Uh-huh.
I just finished and just finished mixing and mastering and everything. And right now I'm trying to send it off to record labels and see if anyone's interested. And if no one's not, I'm probably going to release it independently.
Uh-huh.
And that's probably what I'm the most proud of. So I don't know when to expect that because, like I said, no one's expressed too much interest just yet. So maybe by the end of this year or the beginning of next year, I'll have 5 new songs that I'm pretty proud of.
Nice. So do you get a lot of like do you have get commissions on your artwork, on your art?
No, I actually haven't. I don't even know if I'd be open to it because a lot of my artwork I kind of make on accident,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I'm
like
kind of,
very like I can feel like it's very like connected with your music. It's not like something I would be like, well, can you produce a catfish and give it to me? It sounds
yeah,
weird to say that.
yeah. And also, I don't know if I want something like hand drawn, I have enough confidence in my drawing to where like, okay, it's not gonna look hyper realistic, but I can draw like a little cartoon catfish, and that's good enough for
Yeah, it's
my
like it fits
album.
your
But
music, all that all the glitchy.
yeah.
It fits your music.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me because again, it started off just for financial reasons, so I didn't have to pay someone to do artwork or pay the not that I'm trying to be stingy. I just don't have the
Right,
financial means right now to be paying an artist. And also I enjoy making the artwork almost as much as I do the music. To a fault, actually. Sometimes I forget I'm a musician because I'll have an idea for like an album cover
right.
so much to where I'm like, now I have to make an album around this album cover idea that I have. So uh, drawing and doodling is a big part of my artistic journey too. Even though I consider myself more of a musician, sometimes the song idea will get started off of I want people to see this image I made, but I don't think anyone's gonna look at it unless it's attached to some music, or it would be
Right.
cooler attached to some music.
When COVID hit, was that like a beneficial thing to your art so you could create more, or did it hurt your people buying your music?
COVID, I hate to say this out loud, but for me personally, COVID was wonderful for me. Go
Yeah.
okay, let me be clear. COVID specifically was awful, but the
Oh,
pandemic, the pandemic time of having to be stuck indoors, not allowed to leave that house and being forced to stay in my office in my studio was very good for me.
I just feel like,
And
my
like
life,
everyone
I
else,
feel like everyone's not been under COVID, and like I've been under COVID my whole life. Like not the real COVID.
yeah.
I just feel like
Sure, yeah,
I've
you were
always
prepping for
been
this.
like
Yeah, I'm a
kind of in
little
my room pulled up, kind of working on something or the other, even if it's not like something that's profitable.
exactly, yeah. That's true. I had a very long list of projects that I wanted to get started on, that I wanted to do, that I wanted to finish, and it was starting to get overwhelming. And when the pandemic hit, I had no choice but to go crazy and just watch Tiger King all the time, whatever like everyone else was doing, or focus on my art. But I don't know, the little like art community that I've surrounded myself with back home, which isn't based anywhere in particular. It's just a lot of people out of like Denver and Austin, Texas, and a few different random places like that. Very supportive group of people. And during the pandemic, uh, a lot of a lot of these people kind of in this art community that I'm in really, really love live music to the point where it's like their favorite thing in the world. A lot of people when they're thinking, I have to be stuck indoors, thinking like, oh, I can't go get my hair cut. What am I gonna do? A lot of these people are like, I can't go to concerts anymore. What am I gonna do? So
Yeah,
a
that's been
lot of
my
people
big
just,
thing for the
okay,
last
let's have,
6 years. What'd you say?
yeah, exactly. I completely agree, but because I had just moved to a new country, everything was so new for me. I didn't
New.
know where the concerts were anyway, but there were some people that were doing like a lot of online music festivals, which kind of sounds silly, but do you remember COVID? Anything
Yeah,
online that was exciting was exciting.
Yeah, like
So yeah,
especially
to
when they
answer your
did
question, that was very
10-15.
beneficial for me.
Yeah, you remember when they did the Alex Gray show on online? I was super stoked because I wouldn't have been able to go to it anyway, being out here. I mean, I'm still trying to hustle and create my momentum so I can come back or go to Europe. Maybe I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next. Um, but yeah, I mean, when watching the Alex Gray show on the computer was kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. See, things like that, I feel like people maybe have had ideas for virtual shows like in the back of their head, but it just never seemed realistic. And it was kind of a
Yeah,
good time to experiment with that type of stuff. And the lockdown was very nice for my project personally because a lot of people were very thirsty for music at the time or thirsty
yeah,
for any sort of entertainment.
yeah.
And I was getting invited to do a lot of things that I would normally have to turn down because I couldn't afford to fly
Flight,
into
yeah.
Denver for a show or something. Yeah,
So
and then
you
so
were in
people invited
Denver
me to
before.
some kind of big shows.
You were in Denver
No, I'm
before.
just mentioning Denver a lot because I first of all, Sophie, sorry, it sounds like maybe we're having like a little internet delay, so sorry if I'm
There's a
constantly
little
interrupting
delay.
you. No, I wasn't never based out of Denver. It just feels like that's where probably most of my listeners are from.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's kind of where I like to focus. A lot of my
Okay.
like marketing and stuff is kind of
But
towards
you were
the west
living in
coast of the
Texas
US.
then, or
That's right. Yeah, I'm originally from Texas,
okay.
outside of Houston.
Okay, okay. So I just wanted to ask you to throw out all your links and also impart with us anything else that you'd want to say or any other whether it's advice or an experience or anything else that you'd want to share with us before my Zoom is gonna cut out in like
Sure. Okay, let's see. Advice. Yeah, sure. Any advice I have, I guess, is I don't know, don't take advice from me is my advice. Listen to your heart.
you're funny.
Don't listen to anyone actually. That's my advice
Yeah,
because even your own mind is going to change a lot. So I'll say it like this. For a while, I was worried, like, oh, maybe I should be using this software. Maybe I should be using these types of guitar strings. These are what all of my heroes are doing. And then I realized like they're only doing that because that's what they had access to. They didn't really put as much time and thought into it often as I think they did.
right.
So that's the one piece of advice that I have. And I don't know if I were to like plug anything right now. I'm actually working on a video game right now that is kind of still in beta, but is like a text adventure video game, kind of like from the 1980s. Like, I don't know
Okay.
if you've ever played a video game like that, where you're just typing in commands like go north, take sword.
I don't know. I remember playing Atari when I was really little. I
Okay,
don't
so
remember.
like, yeah, so Atari is very graphical and there's like sounds to it, not very complex sounds, but little bleeps and bloops, right?
Yeah,
Computers in the 1980s were very underpowered, just basically just word processing machines. So video games in the 80s were very text based. There's a lot
right.
of reading. And long story short, I'm making a game like that if anyone's curious about, they can hit me up for the link. It's still in beta right now, but it's
Okay.
something else I'm working on in between painting and making music and things like that. I don't know. I always got to keep my hands on something or I get very bored.
Yeah, I can understand that completely. So yeah, and your links are all
Yeah, my
Uncle.Catfish on Instagram and
yeah at Instagram just at Uncle.Catfish, and I can send you a link. Maybe you can put in the description or something that will link to my other stuff.
Yeah, sure, completely. And I just wanted
Yeah.
to say what a joy and pleasure that it was to have you on here, even though you are kind of, you were flexible, even though you have class right now. I just wanted to thank you for your time
Yeah,
and
no,
your effort and your patience and your creativity.
thank you. Thanks for inviting me to talk and share the things that I'm doing. And if we have an opportunity to do this again, I'd like to hear more about the stuff that you're working on. And I'd like to hear that song that you said that you collabed with. So if you could send me that link, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely send you. It's like I was actually saying it like a poem, so it's like uh, written word, I guess, written word poetry.
Uh-huh.
Not like a song, the one that I use. But yeah, you can look up Liquid too. He was really kind to me and produced the song with my poem. I was highly surprised that it
That's excellent. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get those links for you and send that to me too. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you again, and whenever you're ready or whenever you want to come back on again, you're most welcome to be my guest again here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Okay, much love.
All right. I don't know if you can hear me. The internet's been very choppy. Now's
Yeah,
probably a good time to end it.
okay.